What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Prepping. It's weird when you see like real hardcore prepper people. They're like, yo man, I got a nuclear fallout shelter in case things hit the fan. And you're like, yeah, that's the spot where I'm gonna tap out, I think. That's, I don't really have yeah, I'll have to play that one by ear. As yeah, that's pretty hardcore. I'm not gonna, at this point in my life, going to invest in that. I'm not against it. I mean, if I had excess capital of like just a few mil, I just didn't know what to do with, I might throw like 100 at that, you know? I'd be like, oh yeah, let me just, you know, throw it at the nuclear bomb cycle thing. But not being prepared for anything is not a great way to go. And I'm talking like down here in Florida, we get hurricanes. So it's common for us to have the power out for a week. It's only happened for like once or twice in my lifetime. I've had buddies that had no power for 3 weeks in 2016, which wasn't, you know, everybody got through it. It wasn't a big deal. But it was like, if you didn't have a generator, if you didn't have fuel for that generator, if you didn't think through like, hey, you know, maybe I'll have a dual fuel generator so I can store propane and not just gasoline, then you didn't have to go to the store and like rush out to get the gasoline because the propane was available, the gasoline kind of wasn't, and it doesn't store that great. But it doesn't matter, as long as you had something, right? You had some food prepared, you had something like that, you were good to go. Now, what we're entering into is getting a little weird as far as like, the food supply lines are like they're literally burning. So food in general is increasing just in cost. Like it's up pretty substantially, at least in my area. And in addition to that, if you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. This is like, you hear this all the time. Like if you fail to plan, you have planned to fail. I hear this from a lot of my good buddies. Like, hey Trav, if anything happens, if anything really bad happens, we'll just come to your house, man. We'll just put a tent out on your property. And I'm like, guys, like, the amount of people that have come out here to help me do anything, and I'm talking like we have a food forest, we've got chickens, we've got all that, you know, we have well over 50 fruit trees at this point in time, avocados, tomatoes, all that stuff, right? The amount of people that have come out to help me work on that have been 2, I could possibly count a third, all family members, but that's it. Like, so the time to make connections with people that you might want to link up with in like a really bad scenario, like the grid goes down for a little bit, right? Or there's chaos, or, you know, the elections don't go super smooth in 24 and people get crazy or get gaslit, or, you know, law breaks down, or there's no fuel. Like these things are very possible and likely to happen as we start to see rolling brownouts, like whatever it may be, right? I don't want to like put those vibes out in the energy. Like I don't want to put that energy out there, like, and like have it come back. So I'm not really trying to like, you know, have this like, you know, occur. I'm not really trying, like, it doesn't sound like a lot of fun to go through like one of these really bad like economic collapses. Like I'm not really trying to live through a Venezuela type of situation. However, the time to get prepared, the time to do like action, the time to like make your connections is now. And like utilizing things that'll make you useful and like a high pick, kind of like getting picked on a kickball team, is like what you want to do. You want to be the guy that can provide stuff. You want to be the guy that can weld stuff. You want to be the guy that has some storage or some savings in silver, gold, copper. You want to be the guy that can attain resources. You want to be the guy that has some sort of skill set that other people are going to find valuable. Because if you do have an economic collapse, you want to be useful. You want to be a guy that can repair things. Those guys are going to be super useful. You want to be a guy that understands solar and can hook things up. You want to be a guy that can build a micro hydro system. You want to be a guy that knows about farming. You want to know things, and you don't want to be a leech. Because I hear this all the time. I hear this from dudes at church. They're like, oh, Trav, man, if things hit the fan, bro, we're just going to come out to your place. And I'm like, yeah, I haven't prepared for you. I prepared for my family, right? Like I prepared for like a family of 4 to be able to go comfortably for well over a year. And then after that, probably sustain themselves on some sort of level. Like, don't think that, you know, I need to go any crazier than that. But it's like, I haven't prepared for 25 people to just show up and be like, yo, what's up? I am starting to, because I realize that that's going to be one of these things. So I want to take the farm that I have going now, which is like a 6-acre deal, And I want to start building connections with neighbors who have property that I could lease, rent, option to buy. All right, I'm starting to like eye different things around here, so that I could expand what I already have. So I've got like, you know, grafting methods. I've got like hydro tanks that I can take plant cuttings and put them in. And so in the event that we do have some sort of craziness and like food supply becomes a thing, farming becomes like a real thing, like just like the Depression, people have not a lot to do during the day and they need something productive to do. I am preparing to be like, oh, I can use hands. Like I can use labor out here, you know, and I can expand my operations during that point in time. Ideally, to be able to be useful to somebody like at a higher level, like maybe it's the freaking governor. Like, you know, at some point in time, he's like, oh, Trav's farms are like, hey, let's give Trav more land because he's been such a good steward of what he already has. So my message to you is like, prepare now in whatever facet that you can. If you're like just getting going in life and you're like, okay, man, I'm just accumulating resources. I don't have a whole lot of them yet. Just start stacking copper coins. Like you can literally go through your change. I do this like every week. I actually sort through my change before I even throw it in the bucket anymore. But like 1982 pennies and older are real copper. Like they're worth about 2.5 cents, like of copper value. So they're already up like, you know, 150x. I think copper is going to go much higher in the future. So I think that those copper pennies are going to be worth quite a bit. But also when it comes to obtaining resources in a crazy grid down type of situation, ish hits the fan situation, like those are going to be valuable. And it's somewhere where you can start. Like 1 in 10, when I go get a roll of pennies from the bank, typically 1 in 10, if they're not all 22s, sometimes they're all brand new 22s. I'm like, but if they're not 22s, 1 in 10 is a copper penny. And I just turn them back in. I got a place so I can put them in. I put the change in for free. They'll give me like the 20 bucks. I'll go there. I'll get a whole bunch of pennies. I'll clean them out. I go through them. You can go online and buy them easy, you know, if you need to do that. But like there's stuff that you can do. In addition to that, there's always like the protection thing. Like you're always gonna need the protection thing. There's always, that's a good metal to stack too. There's all sorts of different calibers. People want, you know, will trade that with you. But ultimately, failing to prepare is being prepared to fail. And you don't want to be a leech. You want to be a guy that can be an asset in a grid down type of situation or a things hit the fan situation. And you want to be able to be a blessing to your friends, your family. You want to be able to help people, but ultimately you don't want to be the guy that doesn't have a plan that goes, oh, well, I'll panic when the time comes. Like I panicked in 16. Like I'm done. I already had my wake up moment of like, ooh, dude, this system's fragile. And like, I should be working heavily to try to move out of it. So until the next video, guys, I'll see you down in the comments. Give this video a like. That helps like tremendously. And if someone that needs to hear it, like one of your bros, it's like, oh bro, I'll show up, but just send him my video and be like, bro, dude, you don't want to be that guy, bro. You don't want to be a super low value guy in a grid down, things hit the fan situation. So I'll see you guys down in the comments. See ya.